Biafran evangelist, you have always advocated for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, that this man is free and is innocent. What do you have to say about this?
Now listen and listen. James Omotosho is the least of the judge I ever see to handle Nnamdi Kanu case in a fair outcome like this. I never expected him because initially I was told and I heard that James Omotosho was Wike's boy. And you know, I've not seen anything good coming from the side of Wike. But I'm seeing James Omotosho, you know, trying to beat my imagination in this trial of Nnamdi Kanu. This is a man that owes no grudges against any man, that offended no man. This is a man that have never killed somebody's cockroach or come to your house and kill rat that is disturbing you. He's always on his own path because he stands on the truth, because he stands for freedom. See, what is happening in Nigeria today is what Nnamdi Kanu have earlier said that shall befall Nigerians if they refuse to abhor to the fact that they want to turn Nigeria into a Fulani nation. They want to Islamize, automatically Islamize this nation. That was the mission and that was their vision. But they never believe it until now. You can see the game playing. But I love what is happening today because every evidence Nigerian council presented in the court, Omotosho is a brave man and is playing on a brave side. But despite the fact that we see them as betrayers, we see, you know, the court as always a mago being influenced and controlled by the federal government. I still believe, so far so good, he has tried in the case of Nnamdi Kanu because he has finally threatened federal council that if they should fail to produce the necessary requirement to defend what they are accusing Nnamdi Kanu of, that is going to strike it and it will declare Nnamdi Kanu automatic discharge and acquitted.
But then, you know what's coming from the north? That Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. And what Nnamdi Kanu is doing to call for separation is treasonable. But we saw other groups are saying, even Peter Obi and every other people that are asking for Nnamdi Kanu, they should be declared as a terrorist. But then we saw all the Igbos are telling them, why have you kept quiet now that your own person, Sheikh Gumi, have been arrested or have been deported by Saudi Arabia? What do you think that may happen now? Other people are not happy with this kind of news coming from the court.
Yeah, they don't have to be happy coming from the court. He said revision is non-negotiable because they actually want to invade Nigeria and to control every major resources that God has blessed this country with. And what are those resources? And on whose land or which land does those resources being deposited? All these things are coming from where? The Biafra land. So they want to Islamize Biafrans, Islamize Yorubas, the Oduduwas, and they have already conquered the Northerners. So they want to pocket everybody in their purse. That is why they are chanting, it is not what? Negotiable. And we, the Biafran, the IPOB are telling them back to them. If any other group cannot challenge them, we are able to challenge them. It's not today now. They say no as they go. Yes, the Fulanis know as they go. In our houses when we rise, they know say lion have risen. And they know that. So whether they like it or not, Nnamdi Kanu have already started giving them woto in the courts. We will use Nigerian law to defeat Nigeria. In Nigeria. And at the same time, we will now emerge as a nation of our own. I know it's not always easy, but finally you can see as it's going. Finally, we will get it. But Omotosho is actually, you know, so far so good. Trying. If the federal government you know, we allow him. That is another thing. If they are not going to influence him to go against the law of Nigeria, to go against the court order, to go against the procedure, the normal procedure, of which if that happens, international, but there's a level this case will reach. It will attract international bodies. It will attract international, you know, men. It will attract international different nations with a different caliber to intervene in the case, because it has become a global issue. It is no longer issue or Nigerian issue.
There's another line of thought again which says the Igbo politicians are not buying into this Biafra case.
Yes.
As only the poor Igbo people that wants to separate Nigeria. What do you have to say about that?
Listen and listen very good, my beloved brother. I am not poor. Even the governor of my state have never given me pure water, and I've been feeding, I've been paying my rent. Are you hearing me? So I am not poor. If you feel that it's poor, nine generation poor, not be me poor, because I never begged him for pure water, and he never for his life give me a bottle of water, no sachet of water. So, and you know what? Yes, they are what? Poor mentally, because if not that they are poor mentally, they should have seen reason. See, you know, many of them, their children are not here in Nigeria to face what we are facing, to see what we are seeing. And that is why you see them coming out and ranting anyhow. Had they been that their children are here, schooling here, they will know what we are saying, that we understand it. I wish that their medication, you understand, they are not allowed to travel. Let them face the medication treatment here in Nigeria, to face what we are facing and what we are surviving. That is when they will understand. So they are mentally poor. They are not rich mentally. They are not matured mentally. They have not grown up mentally. Because if they do, or if they did, they would have seen reason. Even though they did not see reason, based on what Nnamdi Kanu was saying, with what is happening currently now, should have given them a sense of thought. But yet they are still lacking it. That is to tell you that there are Fulani imposed governors upon the Biafrans.
Now we saw Otto Eze, a respected billionaire in Igbo land. He has told the Igbos that you must find a way to support the president. But that's not the issue. Many people are saying that he should have found a way himself to speak to the president about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. For example, also the president also in Anambra State, when he visited Chukwuma Soludo, and they gave him a chieftaincy title. Now, why are the Igbo leaders afraid of speaking to president concerning the issue of Nnamdi Kanu? What can you say about that?
Let me be honest. Not that they are afraid speaking to Mr. President concerning the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I will tell you the reason why they don't want to go there and they don't want to say anything regard to Nnamdi Kanu. They believe that they are the governor, and the people should listen to what they say, not listening to Nnamdi Kanu. But today in Igbo land, in all Biafran state, Biafran nation, Biafran country, Nnamdi Kanu is the voice of the people. But they themselves are not, when they speak, we don't pay attention because they are speaking to promote their master, Fulanis. We don't see them as our leader. So they want to their own word to stand. You get it? Because we ourselves are not regarding what they are saying. We don't believe.
This injustice that Nigeria government are giving to Nnamdi Kanu, Moranda is not the solution. The problem all the Kanu have now is that Nigeria youth are lazy. That we should abide by this Tinubu regime. Tinubu regime that 100,000 naira cannot feed the family a week. We should abide with it. I'm not shocked because all the Kanu have stolen the money that belongs to Abia State. We are in this country, is in the public domain. All the Kanu have case with EFCC. Have you tackled the in the case of EFCC? He has not. He's telling us Tinubu, Bola, Ahmed Tinubu government is this. We should accept him or not. We are not wonder how much is senator having. Men in the ordinary street cannot feed their family. People cannot send their children to school. But all the Kanu have the guts and tell us that Nigerians are lazy. That we should enjoy Bola Ahmed Tinubu government. What has Bola Ahmed Tinubu done? Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed subsidy. Subsidy removed. To not make it 2 years that he removed subsidy. What can we as a Nigerian now that should be proud that the subsidy that Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed, this is the impact is doing in my life. That school is now free. My children are going to free school. Hospital, I can access hospital. I can access good road. There is nothing to show about. Rather, the money is being shared by this same politician, by this all the Kanu in the senator. And that's why all they have the guts to be telling Nigerians. And Nigerians are lazy that we should obey with Mazina Kanu. But I'm not disappointed in Odi Kanu. Odi Kanu will receive his voto. I have said it, go and check out Okorocha. Rogers Okorocha was part of people who sold him a state to this Fulani herdsmen. It's on the record that Hope Uzodinma was the one that planted church in the government house in Igbo State. Hope Uzodinma is not, I say Hope Uzodinma, Rogers Okorocha is not a Muslim. Rogers Okorocha built a mosque in the government house. Tell me any government house in the north where church is being planted or church is being built. In the north, there is none. It is time of Rogers Okorocha, he sold him a state out to the Fulani herdsmen. And we can see that Hope Uzodinma, the current governor, is affected to where Hope Uzodinma stopped, where Rogers Okorocha stopped, whereby he now budgeted over billions of naira to send the Fulani men to Mecca in Imo State.
We saw there was this emergency meeting. It was a closed-door meeting. They are talking about Nnamdi Kanu's case and how it will affect the chances of some Igbo politicians in 2027. And again, they are talking about how release of non-release Nnamdi Kanu, that if they release him, it may make the Igbos for the APC. If they don't release him again, it may make the Igbos the APC. But the other people are warning that if you release this man, vote may not come from the north. So there was a closed-door meeting on Nnamdi Kanu's case. What do you think politicians want to achieve by still keeping Nnamdi Kanu in detention?
I'm telling you time without number that all the Bola Ahmed Tinubu regime want to do is that they want to use Nnamdi Kanu to play politics. They want to delay him so that it will come close to 2027 elections. But I want to tell you that it is quite unfortunate, but the Igbo's leaders is going to regret it. Let me tell you, where is Ifeanyi Ubah today? Ifeanyi Ubah play his politics with Nnamdi Kanu. Today, every money he has making, he has forgot it. He has gone to meet with his ancestors. So every other politician in the southeast, likewise me that is talking, all of us we are living this world one day. Whatever you sow, you will reap. Don't forget that Ifeanyi Ubah, he did everything, whether in favor of Nnamdi Kanu or against Nnamdi Kanu. The Igbos need to have the answer to the question. Is that today, Ifeanyi Ubah children are alive. Today, if I'm bad elections are hard, whatever is so, the children will repeat. Let this government continue. Instead of fighting for their region, they are selling Nnamdi Kanu out to Nigeria government. You will see that Nnamdi Kanu head need urgent attention right now. But they refuse. They are dragging that man. They want that man to cry in their hand. They should forget that whatever life, this life, there is what we call karma. Anything they do to it, it will surely bounce back. I'm not surprised because I know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and this PDP and this governor in the southeast, they are using Nnamdi Kanu to play politics. It is now obvious that Nnamdi Kanu commits no any offense. If you see that everything that Nnamdi Kanu has said so far about this Fulanization agenda, about this Boko Haram, about this Fulani herdsmen, everything has come to pass. So you can see that they are just detaining him for formality's sake, so that they will keep looting the resources of the southeast. Are you telling me that Nnamdi Kanu is alive? All the shenanigans that Hope Uzodinma is doing in Imo today, the one in Aborted State is doing, the one in Chasoluro is doing, Ebo is doing, Nnamdi Kanu will keep quiet. They know that if Nnamdi Kanu come out today, he will be the ultimate leader of the southeast. Nobody will listen to the governor of the southeast again. That's why they are trying all their possible efforts to fight that young man, so that young man will not leave. But one thing I told people that Nnamdi Kanu is not chosen by himself. The God of the Igbo land choose him. Yes, you must say Ojuku came away to come and pave way. Wazirike also came to do his best. But this Nnamdi Kanu is chosen by the God. Because if he's not chosen by the God, he would have betrayed the people. If most of them today that are governor in the southeast, if they are in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, they will have rewrite the history of Igbo. They will have tell you that Igbos are not Igbo. And that's this statement to the question you asked me earlier. New Rubado is telling the Igbo governor now that cancel this Biafra Hero Day, turn it to Igbo Day. How dare a Fulani man is now telling Igbo what to do? Have you forgotten that we have Wazobia, we have the Hausa, we have the Yoruba, we have the Igbo? Where is Fulani mentioned? But today, as I speak to you, Fulani now are now the one that is taking what happened in Nigeria. Fulani now have conquered the race of Hausa, as Nnamdi Kanu have said it. The only thing that is remaining for Hausa race now is their language. And that's why they have the audacity to come and tell you that, oh, there's something like a Biafra hero day, it should be called Igbo day. Look at where we are finding ourselves. These are the injustice Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for. Whether they like it or not, if they continue fighting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, somebody will be greater, who will do better than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will spring out in Biafra.
But then, you are looking at, let us look at the closed door meeting. The closed door meeting that they are having among the politicians, do you think there will be any possibility coming out of that closed door meeting? Do you think that they may later resolve to release Nnamdi Kanu during their closed door meeting?
My brother, whether they release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or not, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a hero. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu died today, his name cannot be written off. Most of the governors today, either 4 years or 8 years, they will leave and go. Today, who is talking about Rocha Sokorocha? Do you see any woman now that is appreciating Rocha Sokorocha? Nobody. But if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu died today, people cannot erase it from their mind. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has fought the battle. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has exposed the world, not only Igbo. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was the one that opened Africa eye. Look at what Abraham Traore is doing in Africa. At the help of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he told them that these British, these Oyibo are using us to play kabo-kabo. Today, look at Africa is waking up. Look at what Abraham Traore is doing in Africa. So let's leave it, whether they allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to die in their custody or they leave him.
Photo on how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu admitted and how he said so many things, and some, written document of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with his signature. But on that note, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu admitted, yes, he was the one in the video. He was the one that said all those things. But he stated it clearly that it was under duress. Because even as at that time, that he was seriously tortured. You understand? So his life was at stake. So he has to do what he did by writing what they asked him. Not that they asked him, but they forced him. They forced him to write. And they force him to say in that video. And let me tell you, they are not making only video on him. They did not even video themselves, the interrogator. You understand? So, and at the same time, there is a man, one of them, who they denied, called, is it Dr. Brown or thereabout, or Mr. Brown, among them, which they denied. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still insisted that that is the one of the person that he know that integrated him that very day. But having said all this, at the end of the day, they went trial for trial, according to James Omotosho. And Omotosho came back after, a break, and he came back and said that Nigeria, which is what they have presented, that it is duty out of duty because his lawyers, his legal teams, we are not informed regarding to that. And at the same time, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say all those things out of his that Nigerian government has, violated his fundamental human rights. And on this, the U.S. government is watching because they have embassy here and they don't have, they are not ready to accommodate any country or individual that have a hand in anything called terrorism. They don't want any relationship with that. You understand? That is Donald Trump for you. And not just Donald Trump. America, to be precise. You saw what happened against Hamas. You saw what happened either in Somalia. You saw what happened in Syria. That even the Syrian president ran to Russia for, for an exile. You understand? You can see many places, look at Sheikh Gumi traveling to Saudi Arabia. And the whole Saudi, being an Islamic country, still deport him, say back to sender.
Back to sender.
Back to sender. That is what they say to Nigeria. Because they regard Nigeria and they are seeing Nigeria as a terrorist nation. So, and Sheikh Gumi was the chief negotiator of terrorism in Nigeria. You can see that during the Buhari tenure, how he was negotiating between the Fulani bandits and the Nigerian government, you understand. If you watch all those videos, listen to all those things, no good country that will like to welcome people of that such questionable character. And that is why Sheikh Gumi, when they traveled, Saudi say we need peace in our land. We don't want somebody that will come and instigate or initiate terrorism in our country. For that reason, if we allow you, we don't know your mission, we don't know what you have at heart, I don't know what Nigeria have sent you to come and do. We don't want pollution. We need peace. So for the peace to continue in our country, Sheikh Gumi, you must not step in back to sender. And they send Sheikh Gumi back to Nigeria. So his mission an assignment and dream and vision in Saudi Arabia was seriously and finally aborted, unfulfilled.
Now, let us look at this other angle. Many people are afraid that the US, since they don't tolerate terrorism and they don't play with terror sponsors, should Nigeria be afraid not to be designated as a terrorist sponsor? Because we saw how the World Global Index, they have designated Fulani S-men as the fourth most religious terrorist group organization in the world, and we know that IPOB is not on the list. But Nigeria, as a country, they have designated IPOB as terrorist.